What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Share Speaks. I want to talk to you guys about Into the Badlands, Season 3, Episode 1. I know it sounds crazy for me to say that, Season 3. But here we are. Now, this episode, it's called Into the Phoenix. And, it's quite, obviously, it's been some time since everyone's, the main characters have seen or interacted with one another. Sonny's been pretty much on his lonesome, doing a single father thing with Henry. As you all know, last season, unfortunately, Vale was killed by Baron Quinn, his last-ditch effort. He said, I remember correctly, Baron Quinn said, look, either I can't have her, if I can't have her, then you can. And pretty much, Vale pretty much sacrificed herself for Sonny, and the sake of, for Sonny and Henry. And we saw, how Sonny's been, he's been going about it, the best way he can, but unfortunately, there's still that pain of regret, obviously, that, the woman he's loved, Henry's mother is dead, he has to do this all by himself. He's living a nice, peaceful, quiet life. All of a sudden, when Henry begins to get sick, it was the night after he read the Jungle Books to him, him telling him, like, listen, your mother taught me how to read this book, and that just goes to show how much she loved you, and I love you, little man. And so when he took his little drink, he fell asleep, and actually, he wakes up to Henry crying in agony. Turns out he has a fever, which later turns out to be the gift, the same gift that many people have, more notably MK. And so he ends up actually meeting some old friends. I guess you can say Quinn's former wife. And then he meets Baljee, who we've all thought was dead from last season's finale. When he got to Azaric, to which he was actually turned out to be a lie, as he told Sonny, because he sent out a message to them, not a word back. When he waited for months and there was no word back, and so now Sonny is trying to figure out, okay, how can he help Henry the best way he can, because the gift is a really bad thing, for him to have, for the nurse to actually try to draw his blood, and all of a sudden his eyes turn black. That's pretty damn bad. And so now Sonny's in a desperate need to try to help his son the best way he can. But aside from that, also the widow Douglas actually turned out to find Azaric. She ended up finding Nathaniel, a former regent, and they went off they got into a little bit of a sparring match, if you will, to which, even the widow said, look, either you can help me, or you can die by this damn sword, pretty much. And Nathaniel said, all right, well, so be it. so they exchange. And so Nathaniel was looking forward to find his honor back, because as we all remember from last season as well, Sonny took away Nathaniel's honor along with his right hand, as the widow actually made fun of that, which created the fight that they actually got into. But then also, and so now Nathaniel's actually in cahoots with the widow, and we even got some new revelation as to what MK's been up to. He's actually been in a cage, I guess smoking opium, trying to regain his gift. I don't really recall him actually losing. Well, I do recall him losing it, but I thought he actually got it back. We even saw Tilda. She has her own little group now, I think called the Rabbits. They still supply for the Quinn's former wife, the ex-Baroness. For her little people, she's doing all she can to keep the peace within her people, to protect them, to make sure the widow doesn't come after her and her people again. They've been doing pretty well so far. So that's why she said, I think it's time for you, Tilda, I think it's time for you, the Rabbits, to go elsewhere for a while, because we don't want, you rescued Baljee, that's an escaped prisoner. And so we don't want her wrath to come down on this place, so I think it's best that you go. Which, this is the best thing, obviously, because, you don't want all that commotion that, you just found peace. The people are being fed every single day, everyone's still being taken care of. You don't want any trouble to go with that. And so we actually found out what happened to Baljee. He said, look, Sonny was like, wait, I thought you were dead. He's like, well, I was. I saw, a big bright light, a lot of people. And then I woke up for some reason to a lot of angry faces, and here I am. Even Baljee, when he met Tilda again, he said, we gotta stop meeting up like this. So it was actually pretty cool to actually see that. And even furthermore, he actually got there to where he is currently, by using Sonny's motorcycle. to which he apologized for. But then he also swindled a few of the, the refugees out of their money, to which prompted Sonny to save his ass once again. Which always seems to be how they actually begin to interact once more. And then also before that, Tilda says, she's like, well, what about MK? I thought you were going to help him after, you helped Sonny. She's like, listen, no one's been seeing Sonny for months. He's probably out there living a life with Vale and his kid, living the dream. To which actually Sonny had to break the news to him, said, Vale didn't make it out. And Quinn was right. She is dead because of me. And then that's when we learned that Henry had the gift. But then also, the Widow Douglas also had to, I guess you have to say, come to the fruition with the fact that Elisa, one of her knights, is what I'll call them, was actually killed in battle. And her mother came to her and said, how can you, speak of a brand new world, and my baby's gone? To which, the widow actually had to console her against her. It reminded me that the widow had a heart, you know what I mean? So it was actually good to see that as well. And then it was really interesting to see, MK, he said, look, you tried everything. You tried razors and knives, everything to get my gift back, and you still haven't helped me. She was like, and he was like, he mentioned Sonny. He's like, look, Sonny's not coming back. It's been months. And MK's like, look, you don't know that. Waldo was tired of bullshit. Even Tilda was. So I hope Sonny does come back for MK, because I'm glad that MK still believes that Sonny's going to come back for him, and I hope he stays that way, because obviously we can tell that the Widow's already trying to, manipulate him and to think that, this guy's gone forever. He's pretty much trying to Red Hood the guy, and that fucking sucks. I hope he doesn't fall into that trap. But then also, now mind you, this whole war between the Widow and Baron Chau started because Chau's the only living Baron left. And the Widow wants her property, obviously. So that's actually what this war was all about. That's what it's always been about, really. And so we actually, General Chau actually got some company from the Phoenix, I believe, or the Reckoning. Yeah, maybe he said the Reckoning, I believe. He said, look, tell your people that there's some new people in town, pretty much. So I guess the Phoenix is a brand new Baron-like group, I guess. Because I guess they're going to be the ones that's going to take out Chau and her people. So then now the Widow has a new threat. And I wonder how that's going to go. I look forward to that. This is your boy, Chef Speaking. If you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys have any suggestions on what you guys want me to react to or provide my commentary on, let me know in the comment section below as well. Be sure to subscribe. I'm letting you know right now also, tonight, my Supergirl reaction or my commentary will be delayed a little bit because my internet's a little funky right now, so now I'm most likely will be getting to those reactions or whatnot around 12 o'clock my time, so be patient on that.